Forget what you've been told. Africa wasn't a land waiting to be discovered. It was a land of kings, queens, architects, and warriors who built mighty empires. Today, we are uncovering 8 African empires that rival Rome and Persia. If you are ready to dive into the untold stories of Africa's majestic empires, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and let's journey across Africa's ancient golden sand. The Kingdom of Kush. Let's begin with the Kingdom of Kush, one of the most resilient empires in all of ancient Africa, flourishing for over 1,000 years in what we now know as Sudan. Kush was a powerful neighbor to ancient Egypt. In fact, Kushite pharaohs once ruled both Egypt and Nubia in what was called the 25th dynasty. These black pharaohs not only held the Egyptian throne but revitalized its traditions, reinvigorating temples and pyramids across both lands. Can you imagine the level of influence they had, blending their cultural beliefs with Egypt's iconic customs? Their capital, Meru, became a thriving hub, known for its iron production and distinct pyramid building style, with trade routes extending to the Red Sea, connecting them with other parts of Africa, Arabia, and beyond. The craftsmanship and iron technology of Kush laid the foundation for Sudanese culture, and the ruins of Meru are UNESCO World Heritage Sites today. But the legacy of Kush wasn't built by kings alone. Queens, known as Kandakes, powerful warrior women, often ruled the empire. One even led her army against Roman invaders and forced them to retreat. These were not ceremonial figures, they were leaders, warriors, and decision makers. Today, the influence of Kush still echoes in Nubian art, architecture, and cultural traditions preserved in modern Sudan. Here is a fun fact: while Egypt is famous for its pyramids, did you know that the Kingdom of Kush has more pyramids than all of Egypt? That's right. They had hundreds of pyramids built as royal tombs in Nubia. But why Kush built these pyramids? What West African empire grew so wealthy that even its dogs wore gold collars? Let's find out. The Ghana Empire. Enter the Ghana Empire, often called the Land of Gold, situated between the Senegal and Niger rivers. This empire was not just wealthy, it was an economic powerhouse. Starting around the 6th century, Ghana controlled the gold trade in West Africa, and its rulers were said to possess so much gold that their dogs wore collars made of the precious metal. Ghana's capital, Kumbi Saleh, was a thriving center bustling with traders from all over North Africa, and the empire's extensive trade network connected it to the Mediterranean world. Imagine what it must have been like to walk through its marketplaces, with traders buying and selling gold, ivory, and salt from distant lands. The Ghana Empire's wealth came from its mastery over trade routes and their innovative taxation system. Merchants passing through paid fees in gold, enriching the empire even further. The empire also had a highly organized military that safeguarded its territories and trade routes, making it a model of prosperity and security in its time. Ghana laid the foundation for West Africa's gold economy, and its name was revived in modern times when the country of Ghana gained independence in 1957. The Ghana Empire's mastery of trade wasn't just about gold. It introduced efficient taxation and early banking systems that inspired later West African economies. Many local trade customs in modern-day Mali and Mauritania trace back to the economic practices of the Ghana Empire. And if you think gold made Ghana rich, wait till you meet the emperor who literally flooded cities with wealth. The Mali Empire. Welcome to the Mali Empire, famed for producing one of the wealthiest men in history, Mansa Musa. Founded in the 13th century, Mali stretched from the Atlantic coast all the way to the trading city of Timbuktu. But Mali wasn't just known for its vast land, it was also a center for knowledge and Islamic scholarship. Timbuktu, often called the jewel of the desert, was home to libraries, mosques, and one of the first universities in the world. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage to Mecca is legendary. He journeyed with so much gold that he caused inflation in every town he passed through. Can you imagine a ruler so rich that he could alter an economy just by spending money? Mansa Musa put Mali on the map, and to this day, his story is one of the most talked about tales of wealth. But aside from gold, the Mali Empire was also rich in intellect, producing scholars, poets, and architects who influenced Islamic learning across Africa. Though often overshadowed, royal women also played vital roles. Mansa Musa's mother, known as Sankare, held royal influence, and women were respected in scholarly and spiritual matters. Timbuktu's ancient texts still exist today, preserving Africa's intellectual contributions to world knowledge. While Mali's golden age was renowned, another African empire to the northeast was revered for its architectural marvels and powerful queens. The Kingdom of Axum. The Kingdom of Axum, located in present-day Ethiopia and Eritrea, was one of the great civilizations of the ancient world. Founded around the 1st century, Axum became a hub of trade, linking Africa with Mediterranean and Asia. Its capital, also called Axum, boasted massive stone obelisks, some reaching heights over 24 meters, that stood as symbols of the kingdom's grandeur and spiritual beliefs. The kingdom adopted Christianity in the 4th century, making it one of the first regions in the world to do so, and it later became the religious and political center of Ethiopian Orthodoxy. Axum's rulers issued their own coins, signifying their strength in trade and wealth, and the empire controlled the Red Sea's important trade routes, with leaders like Queen Makeda, better known as the Queen of Sheba, who was said to have visited King Solomon, birthing a dynasty that still influences Ethiopian culture today. Axum's obelisks and Christianity shaped Ethiopian identity and is considered one of the birthplaces of African Christianity. Axum was among the first African civilizations to mint its own currency, an economic leap that shows its integration with global trade. If you could visit one ancient African market, which would you pick? Kush, Ghana, or Mali? Drop it in the comments. The Great Zimbabwe Empire. Moving south, we find the Great Zimbabwe Empire, an empire renowned for its monumental stone city, known as Great Zimbabwe. Built between the 11th and 15th centuries, this city was made without mortar, a feat that still amazes archaeologists today. Massive stone walls, some over 5 meters tall, enclosed this ancient capital, symbolizing the empire's sophistication in architecture and trade. Great Zimbabwe was a thriving center that controlled trade routes extending to the coast, where merchants exchanged gold, ivory, and copper. The wealth generated from this trade allowed the rulers of Great Zimbabwe to create impressive structures like the iconic Great Enclosure and conical tower. This city bustles with activity, its markets filled with goods from across Africa and Asia, while skilled artisans crafted stonework that has stood the test of time. The legacy of Great Zimbabwe is a testament to the ingenuity and craftsmanship of pre-colonial Africa. Though the male rulers led, women in Great Zimbabwe held high positions in society and were central to spiritual and social rituals. To this day, the ruins of Great Zimbabwe became a national symbol, and the modern country was named after this powerful ancient city. What happens when you mix military genius with a thirst for knowledge? You get the Songhai Empire. The Songhai Empire. The Songhai Empire, one of the largest empires in African history, rose to power in the 15th century in West Africa, under leaders like Sani Ali and Askia Mohammed. Songhai expanded to control the lucrative trade networks and cities of the Niger River, including Timbuktu and Gao. Songhai military strength was unmatched, with skilled cavalry and naval forces patrolling the Niger River to defend their empire. Askia Mohammed was particularly known for his administrative skills, developing a structured government that emphasized education, justice, and Islamic law. Timbuktu flourished under his rule, becoming an intellectual hub with scholars from across the Islamic world contributing to the knowledge of the time. Songhai's influence stretched far beyond its borders, with its universities, libraries, and schools attracting students from as far away as North Africa. Askia Mohammed's government introduced one of the earliest systems of civil administration in Africa, with departments for justice, treasury, and military affairs. Though less documented, Songhai women participated in market trade and education, especially in cities like Gao. Many modern laws and leadership structures in West Africa find their roots in Songhai administrative innovations. Traveling further west along the coast of Africa, we find an empire that thrived not only on land, but also maintained a vast trade network by sea. The Kingdom of Benin. The Kingdom of Benin, located in what is now Nigeria, was famed for its impressive art and fortified city walls, which European explorers describe as some of the largest earthworks in history. The Benin bronzes, beautifully crafted plaques and sculptures, depict the history. Rulers and gods of Benin were so advanced that they stunned European observers. Benin's capital, Edo, was a sprawling metropolis with wide streets and structured city planning. The kingdom maintained strong trading links with the Portuguese in the 15th century, exchanging ivory, palm oil, and other goods for European firearms. The city's walls, said to be longer than the Great Wall of China, symbolize the kingdom's strength and organizational prowess. Royal women of Benin, especially the Queen Mothers or Iyobas, held significant influence with their own palaces and councils. Some were even commemorated in Benin bronzes. Benin's bronze artwork are central to global discussion on repatriation and symbolize Africa's rich artistic heritage. The artistry of Benin lives on, influencing contemporary African art and fueling global discussions on museum repatriation. Finally, we move to the east, where a prosperous coastal empire flourished on trade and influenced a region that stretched beyond Africa. The Swahili Coast city-states. On the eastern coast of Africa, the Swahili Coast city-states flourished from Somalia to Mozambique. These city-states, including Kilwa, Mombasa, and Zanzibar, became powerful trading hubs connecting Africa with Persia, India, and China. Their culture was a unique blend of African, Arab, and Persian influences, and Swahili, derived from Arabic and Bantu languages, became the common language of trade. The architecture of these city-states reflected this cultural blend, with grand coral stone, mosques, palaces, and fortresses along the coast. Kilwa, in particular, was so wealthy that its sultans issued gold coins. This blend of culture and commerce made the Swahili Coast one of the most cosmopolitan regions of its time. The Swahili language, born from this blend, is now spoken by over 100 million people a living legacy of cultural fusion. Women along the Swahili coast were educated, owned property, and managed trade in coastal cities, a rare social dynamic in medieval times. These empires weren't just powerful, they were innovators, builders, and storytellers. Their legacies live on in our languages, economies, and traditions. And let's not forget the women queens, mothers, scholars who helped shape these ancient superpowers. Join us next time as we dive deeper into the mysteries that still surround Africa's ancient empires. Who knows what remains undiscovered? Please subscribe to stay tuned for more untold stories from Africa's past.